Hi, this is Sandy from Sandy Creates Cards and More. And I was filming a card video yesterday. And as I was putting my pieces away, we did this card. I was like, well, now that I've got a couple extra things stamped, let's see if we can't put another card together using the leftover pieces. So that's what we're going to do today. Got some pieces here. I again used the Tranquil Tide ink and the Daisy Delight stamp set. And this time I'm using the sentiment that's in this set, the thank you. So I've cut out my pieces in stamp pieces. We've got our Whisper White card base, the same size bottom mat in Tranquil Tide. That's 5 1/4 by 4 inches wide. I always make my, well, not always, but usually make my bottom mats that 1/4 inch smaller than the finished size of the card. So I took a piece of mint macaron and a piece of the DSP, and I cut those, die cut those, using the Lots of Labels Framelits. So the mint macaroon is in the largest, and the DSP is in the second largest die. Then I just took 2 tiny strips. These are 1/4 inch pieces of that DSP, same DSP we used yesterday. That's from Tranquil Textures DSP. And I had cut this extra daisy yesterday, or punched it. I'd stamped and punched it and then decided to go with the white one instead. So I went ahead and had punched those out and assembled that daisy after the video was over. I'm using that sentiment, as I said, from the Delightful Daisy. And what I did is I cut a scrap piece. This is 2 7/8 long by 13/16 inches wide. And that really just nicely fits that stamp. So I actually cut the piece to size, tried to get it centered. It's not exactly centered, but it's close enough. And then the 2 extra bitty butterflies that I had stamped yesterday, I've punched those out, and I think we're going to put those on the cards as well. We'll be attaching one of the faceted gems to the center like we did yesterday. So these are the clear ones. These actually come in 2 different colors, the clear and then the gold color. And I use the gold color if I wasn't working with this color set for a center of a daisy, but I like the clear one for this one. I think we'll use the larger size when we get to that. And as always, we need some tape runner and some, well, one-dimensional, I think. So we've got our pieces. I'm just going to set those to the side. I'm going to set that card base to the side because that's what I generally do last. And we're going to start by attaching the 2 strips to the top and bottom of this mat. And I'm going to do that with glue. And usually I use tape runner for strips. I want to use glue to attach it, because in doing that, I have to do a little bit of shifting, just leaving a little bit of border on the bottom, pulling that straight across. And I think that looks pretty good. Maybe a little high. I'll drop that down. And these strips I'll attach to one end. Again, you can see I can still slide it that little tiny bit. I attach to one end and then I'll trim the other one off. Now we'll stick this little bit on. More glue. And I'm trying to leave about the same size, the same distance at the bottom of our card. Okay, here we go. Now we might as well just go right ahead and trim those. I usually trim from the back side of my card. Cutting that little piece off the scissors. And cutting this piece off. It just breaks up some of that extra space we have. I'm going to take the two framelits that I've cut, and that I'm also going to attach with glue for that same reason, is that in attaching them, we get a little bit of time. You can see the other side of that DSP. You got a little time to slide things around. I put a pretty thin line of glue. And got some glue on my piece there. Let that drop a little bit more than I should have. So hopefully you all have glue erasers at home. So if you do the same sort of thing, what I've just done, back down a little bit more in this direction. So if you do the same thing that I just did, best thing is just to do is to let it dry. Go ahead and finish, complete your card. Once it's dry, it's the easiest process to get that glue off. But always wait till it's dry. So this is going to be slightly overlapping our little strips on the end, but I still thought it added a little something. So I'm not quite placing that down yet. I want to get the placement for our sentiment and our daisy. And as I always do, I sort of put them down. If I think I've got a good idea, I'm really more concerned with how that's going to set, making sure that I have enough room underneath. And this time we'll use tape runner. This piece I've cut the same width as that. I want that up just a tad. So I can see this little corner here on both sides. So that looks pretty good. Actually, I'll cover some of that extra glue. We're gonna, as I said, we're gonna pop up the daisy. So need the larger dimensionals. Yeah, we're gonna set one of these together. And I glued this together yesterday, but I didn't take the time then, because I was just gonna throw it in that little baggie that I showed you yesterday, the little food storage bag. And then I decided, it says it's so pretty. I do love these colors together, that I would go ahead and put that. So now we can pop that daisy up. Okay, so that looks good. I think we can go ahead and attach that to our card base now. Our bottom mat anyway, not the card base. Again, just using tape runner to do that. Pull that over a little closer to me. We'll get the two sides. It looks like I've got the same spacing on either side here. Right now I've got my card kind of aligned the bottom mat within the 4-inch. 2 inches on either side of this center line, and so that'll help me by putting the center of that cut. I'm trying not to get my head in the camera. Kind of puts the center of that cut down. And we may be a little bit off to one side, but I think we're good. So with that done, just got our two little butterflies. And I've already felted the edges up like I showed you yesterday. So just that little bit of glue. We're going to put one on this side. And the second one this lower corner. Yeah, I like it. All we've got to do is attach it to the card base and put the faceted gem on. This time, I'm going to go ahead and put it on the card base before I pop the gem on there. I have my card base in the right position. Yeah, that looks good. And again, I'm always looking here at these three sides because you get to know how wide those should be. And then as I set the card down, sighting this side to make sure that that looks straight. So I'll get that faceted gem on there. Again, I'm going to take one of the larger ones, just pick it up with my pick. Pop that down in the center. And slide it a little bit until you actually give that last firm press. And there we go. The card we made yesterday and leftover pieces make a second card today. So I hope you enjoyed that time. Give this a try. Really quick and easy card to make. And I'll see you again.